Bell Helmets is the leading supplier for safety helmets in all of motorsports. Whether it's go-karts, IndyCar, NASCAR, NHRA, sprint cars, Formula One, we do it. That's what our program is all about. Our theory is we want you, when you get into racing, to put on a Bell helmet as a kid karter at the age of 5 until the day you step out of a race car for the final time. And we cover everything in between. No matter what you do, as long as it's motorsports based, we've got it covered. Bell originally was founded in 1954 in Bell, California. Our godfather, as we call him, Roy Richter, owned Bell Auto Parts. And he was selling parts to guys racing cars similar to the one next to me, but with the amount of deaths that were happening at the time, he was also not only losing his customers, he was losing his friends. So he went out back and he made a helmet, his first one out of fiberglass, and the Bell brand was formed in 1954. And we're here 60 plus years later, and we're still living on a lot of the core values that Roy and the original group put together way back when. No secret, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was a big proving grounds for all sorts of industry when it first came about, and since then it continues to produce the greatest race in the world. Jimmy Bryan won in 1958, 4 years after Bell helmet started, and he was our first winner. So much of motorsports is based here in the central Indiana region, and for us to be able to finally have our very first facility outside of our Champaign, Illinois office where customers can come in and interact with us, there was no better place in our hearts than right here on Main Street in Speedway. We're here, right? And that was the hardest part, was getting here and finding a piece of dirt on Main Street. The town of Speedway had been fantastic. Jacob Blaisdell, obviously Tim Gropp was really instrumental, and then our town council president, Jeff Matthews. Those guys worked so hard to get us here. And as we look into the future and there's more redevelopment opportunities and new projects coming along, we're gonna be involved in hopefully every one of those until we figure out exactly where our future, long-time future is here on Main Street. It's a place you want to be. They're bringing in companies and businesses that people want to get out and spend time with. Main Street's just special right now. It's got a really great vibe. There's a lot of great projects going on. It's a really cool mix for us because we're not a restaurant, we're not a boutique, we're not a knick-knack shop. We're a motorsports-based company that interacts with the general public. And so we're kind of in the best of both worlds. We get to participate in like DeBauer Speedway, for example, but we're also dealing as a manufacturer in motorsports, so we have safety council meetings at Delara. So we're one of the few people who can really experience the manufacturing and the commercial side of being right here at this great location. I mean, I would love to have a much bigger showroom, be able to carry all of our programs, have a lot of show cars, and have a full interactive place for fans to be able to walk into. We love our 1,200 square foot right here on Main Street, and we're making it work, and it's really making our team work together and get creative. So at our Speedway Pro Shop, we handle 3 really important programs for the Bell Racing company. We have up front all of our digital and social content that covers Bell Racing helmets globally. Here in the middle where we're currently at is our Indy Pro Shop showroom. This is for consumers and athletes to be able to come in and purchase products, try them, feel it, and really figure out what they need. The back half is our DNA Center, and then the DNA Center is where we do custom builds, repairs, and R&D from our athletes to consumers and then our future consumers. So our social and digital content section of the company is really important to our brand. We've really made an effort to reach out to our consumers one-on-one, make them feel a part of our family. We cover every form of motorsports that we're involved with on a daily basis. There's not a single night where there's racing in the country that the staff members here at the Pro Shop aren't texting, communicating, and tracking our athletes of where they are. Another big part of our digital and social program is when we go on site to events. When we go on site to events, there's a lot of fans and consumers and other Bell athletes out there that aren't there. And they get a really cool view of what's going on from our side of it. It's not just results, it's not just race cars, it's what's good to eat here. Where's the good bars? Where are people prepping their equipment at? What's the vibe here? We go to places that most people don't have access to because of our relationships, and we give that to the outsider, and that makes them feel more part of our brand, and that's what is so important for our digital and social content.
Well, I had a really bad brain injury a few years ago in a sprint car, and a guy drove in the side of my head, and so after that I switched to Bell, and I've loved them ever since, and I've tested them out quite a bit at high impact, so yeah, I really like them, and they're comfortable. I just feel like Bell is like a family, and that's why I'm excited to be here in Indy this week so that I can spend a lot of time with them, and they're just really fun to be around, and really supportive too. Like, I love how they're truly concerned about your safety, and every time I crash, they're always like texting me, asking me if I'm okay, and just always making sure that you have everything that you need.
I've worked with Bell for about 3 years now, and it's a wonderful company with wonderful people, and I'm very lucky to do it. I work in the social media department, so I handle all of our digital content and interact with our athletes while they travel around racing and keep up with their race winnings and handle our social media accounts. We're always about giving back, especially in the Speedway community that has given so much to us. We're looking for opportunities to be able to give back as much as we can and be part of this community, because this is a home away from home for us, and we want to build on that relationship as much as we can. So the inaugural Bell Helmet Brickyard Classic, which is going to benefit Riley Children's Foundation, is something that we've all been really passionate about and looking forward to for months now. It's going to be an event where each team will have 3 players plus 1 Bell athlete. So they'll play around a golf in a scramble style, and there'll be 1 winner, and all the money that we raise is going to go to Riley. And we got to tour Riley yesterday and see just exactly where all that money is going and what it's benefiting, and all those children need our help. And so we're really excited to be able to give back through our community here and incorporate Speedway and the Brickyard in the shadows of IMS as being part of it is a really cool thing.
So since Bell really formed in 1954 and then made their move into Illinois, this is our first location to have an actual factory showroom where consumers can actually come and interact with the Bell staff. They have the ability to not only check out the newest helmets, they have the ability to try them on, get professionally sized and fitted. A big part of our struggle in the world for everybody in safety is consumer education and trying to educate folks that a helmet just doesn't fit because it fit your brother. It took 1 hit, it can take 10 more. All these things aren't accurate. You really need to take your safety seriously, and being educated on how these products work is a really big part of that. Here you have the ability to come in, try on a new carbon helmet, for example. If it's great around your forehead, which is what we're looking for, but maybe a little light in the cheeks, we can move you over to the DNA Center and we can modify those right here on site, so you walk out with the best fit, the most comfort, and the highest level of safety possible. You know, one really cool aspect of our showroom here is that when our Pro Bell athletes are in town and they stop through and hang out, the look on consumers' faces when they walk in, whether it was Sebastian Bourdais hanging out in the month of May during the Indianapolis 500, Joseph Newgarden, Elio Castroneves, Graham Rahal, guys like Kevin Thomas Jr. and Justin Grant, which are household names in all the sprint car fans around the country. NASCAR, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Clint Boyer, or Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who was over here just a few weeks ago. And when we have consumers that walk in and they get to see these guys in person, take a selfie, ask them questions, and they realize that these guys also wear Bell helmets, it's really important to the consumer, because it makes them feel like they can actually connect with them on a personal level, which only just keeps continuing to grow our brand.
Well, one thing I really like about them is they're comfortable, they're light, they're vented really well, and they're just an all-around good helmet.
So obviously the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race was awesome. However, there's only 33 guys that got to participate in it. That helmet right there, that is the helmet that Sebastian Bourdais finished 9th with, fresh off his head. Literally off his head into our hands, and here it sits on display at Bell Racing Indy Pro Shop. If it's athlete-based, it's more of a show product. It's where folks can come in, touch it, feel it, but kind of connect with history a little bit. Like I said, there's only 33 100 Indianapolis 500 running helmets in the world. One of them sitting right here. This helmet right here is a replica of Lewis Hamilton's Formula One helmet. It is an HP7 with a custom white interior. He runs a custom-made rear spoiler and our Xylon panel on the visor. This is a complete replica from the movie Rush. So James Hunt, one of the most legendary personalities and drivers in motorsports history for all the globe, was obviously a very key part of that movie. And both Niki Lauda and James Hunt wore Bell helmets. So we do offer a few unique models that come with a graphics package on them from our manufacturing facility. Most models though come in either composite white, composite flat black, or carbon fiber. With that, we usually use some of our preferred helmet painters, which are located on our website. There's plenty of helmet painters out there, but athletes and consumers have the ability to take their helmets to anybody they actually want to use for the paint work. For our pro athletes though, a little bit different from our consumer helmets is that we usually send just the raw shell to their preferred painter. It gets painted by the professionals, sent back to us, and then that's something that we will actually assemble and build here in our DNA Center. So in our DNA Center, it's a really unique location for Jacob and I to both be able to spend our time. Not only do we do our normal computer work in there, but it's also where we do all of our new R&D projects, assemble our pro helmets, and do repairs for RMAs for consumers and athletes alike. It holds all of our inventory, But in that space, we have the ability to really get as creative as we want as we look into the future of Bell products.
Working at Bell is something that I'm passionate about. It's a cool thing to do. It's not necessarily a job. I go to work every day and I look forward to it. And being able to look forward to that through my last semester of college was really something that helped me out. And you know, it's not every day that you get to spend your work at a racetrack. And for me, that's living life. There's a lot of things that I do. You know, a lot of times I'm making phone calls with athletes, seeing how they're doing, checking in on, you know, what they need. You know, a lot of times if they've gotten in a wreck, calling them to check on them, make sure they're okay. Calling them to congratulate on a win, putting in some orders to get them some new stuff, get them apparel to get the brand out. You know, building helmets for those guys, doing repairs for helmets on those guys. And really my day-to-day thing is just focused on the athletes. What can we do to make the people that wear our brand, the people who support us, the people who allow us to do what we love to do, making sure that they have what they need and be able to help them to the fullest.
A typical repair could be something like getting the bottom rubber on the helmet replaced, maybe somebody wanting some fresh padding internally, updating some visors for people, or pivot kits. Another side of our DNA Center is when consumers or athletes crash. Unfortunately, it happens, but when it does, they need to send their products back to us for an inspection. So in the DNA Center, Jacob or I will take these apart piece by piece and make sure that they are 100% ready to go for their next event. Usually, if a helmet does not pass an inspection, first thing we do is we notify either the consumer or the athlete, let them know, and figure out the best plan to get them a replacement helmet so they don't miss a beat. Then what we'll do is we'll actually cut the chin straps out of it and ship it back to the user. That way we know that it's never going to be used again, but they can still put it on their wall and, I don't know, stare at it.
Being on Main Street and Speedway is just really cool. I mean, as a kid growing up, rolling in and just seeing IMS is, you know, you got goosebumps. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. The greatest thing in racing is right here. And then now that every morning I turn through the Speedway roundabout and I get to see IMS, I get to drive down Main Street, get to work here every day, I get to eat on all the, you know, the great restaurants on Main Street. It's phenomenal to be where we're at right now and, you know, only looking forward to the future.